Hello and welcome here to Talk SCB, and welcome back to the channel once again for another video here today. And despite the Euros starting, we are still going to be talking about transfers, but this time it's not a player coming in, it's possibly a player that may well be going out, as of this morning's reports coming out of Brazil, which claim that Neymar has accepted a deal from PSG and he will be leaving the club in 2017, so not next season but the season after, to join the French champions. Now that is reports coming only out of Brazil this morning. Other media yet to really catch on to it, to report it as well, but it's just, speculation at the moment, absolutely nothing confirmed. But basically this video was just to sort of go through those rumours and discuss whether Neymar could and well be leaving the club within the next few years. I'm not specifically talking about this summer or next summer, just in general. Do we think Neymar is going to be staying at Barcelona in the long term? Or do we see him possibly moving on to another club in the next few years? So let's look at some of the reasons why Neymar possibly would want to leave Barcelona. It does seem hard to believe that a player that has done so well, has had so much success, won so many trophies here, would even contemplate leaving. But there are a number of reasons why possibly Neymar could be tempted to go elsewhere. And the number one reason for me is the fact that he's not the main man. Now, first of all, you've got to say with Neymar, there's absolutely no issue with an ego, because the first thing he did when he came into the club, the first words that came out of his mouth were, Lionel Messi is the number one player. I've come here to learn from him. Lionel Messi is the best player in the world. Now, those words have remained right to this very day. Neymar still says that even now. So there's not an issue of him having an ego and wanting all the attention, wanting all the fame himself. It's not a matter of that. But he will be concerned by the fact that when Lionel Messi was out injured in September, in November of last year, Neymar excelled. And at that time, he was absolutely fantastic. He was labelled then as one of the best players, if not the best player in the world at that moment. He was in such incredible form when Lionel Messi wasn't there. Of course, he had Luis Suarez next to him, but Neymar was given the responsibility as our main player. And he excelled into that. He took the responsibility, he took the work on, and he was really outstanding in that period in which we were really, really good. So he'll be looking at that and he'll be thinking, what if I was the main man at another club, week in, week out, given all that responsibility? Maybe I could become the best player in the world on my own without Barcelona. While I'm still here, does he feel like he's being held back? Does he feel like Lionel Messi is cramping his style almost? We're not really sure what goes on in his head, but certainly coming into the end of the season, he was nowhere near as effective. His form dipped completely. Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi both overshadowed him in the final end of the season. Neymar nowhere near at the same level, so he will be thinking, that was the level I was at without Lionel Messi, that was the level I was at when I was the main man, so maybe I could go to another club and play the starring role. But of course, if you go to another club, it's always going to be a step down. You look at Alexis Sanchez, who left Barcelona. He wanted to be the main man too. He went to Arsenal, and by far now he is the main man there, along with Mesut Ozil. But again, you go there, you may well be the main man, you may well do well, but there's no trophies there. You're not going to be winning the big competitions. So it really depends on what the player wants. It depends on the career that Neymar has mapped out for himself. But the massive reason that I think Neymar would leave Barcelona, and I think the only reason really why Neymar would leave Barcelona, is because of his father. His father is all about the money. We've seen that right from the word go. Since Neymar came in from Santos, we know that a large fee from his transfer went straight into his father's pocket, around 30 million straight off. There was a load of other deals and extras and murky things going on behind the scenes between the president, the board, and his father as well, to get Neymar to Barcelona. And even then, when the transfer fee was distributed to Santos, there was a lot of claims from them that he had found a way to get hold of more of that money. So there's absolutely no doubt that in his ear, his father's going to be giving. He wants him to move. And originally, Neymar's dad actually wanted him to join Real Madrid. He wanted him to go and sign for Real, but it was Neymar in the end who said, no, I want to go and play for Barcelona. I don't want to go there. So it's not really sure how much of an influence his dad has on him. I think personally he has quite a big one. They seem very, very close. He's always with him. He's always taking photos with him, that sort of thing. They seem very, very close, almost friends, not as a father-son relationship. And I think the problem is he's happy to go wherever the money's at. And if I read out what the figures are for this deal apparently agreed with PSG, it is quite incredible. They're offering him, according to this report in Brazil, 50 million euros per season. That would be 40 million plus any bonuses and add-ons for titles and stuff like that, which I'm sure PSG will obtain playing in Liga 1. but 50 million per season, which right now is double what we are negotiating with Neymar for his new deal. So that's not even double his current wage, that's doubling the wage of which he'll get if he signs his renewal, which is a big increase in what he's already getting. So PSG have absolutely blown us out the water in terms of the money that they can offer Neymar, and we knew that's the case. There's a number of clubs around the world, despite us being as successful as we are, that are more economically inclined to be able to offer more money. Manchester City's another one. PSG certainly are the club that has a lot of money. They would also be willing to pay his current buyout clause, which stands at around 200 million euros, so which converts at about 155 million pounds. So it would be a world record fee, the biggest transfer in footballing history if it was to go through. And the plan is for Neymar to sign with PSG not this summer, as I say, but next summer in 2017. The reports here say that Neymar's agent, Wagner Ribeiro, met with PSG's owner in Ibiza last week. The talks are productive, the talks are successful, and that a deal verbally was announced and confirmed at that meeting. Now, we don't know if that meeting took place, we don't know whether that is a confirmed story, we don't really know what is happening at all, but I'm just interested to know what you think, really, whether he will actually go and leave for PSG, or whether this is all just speculation, because we've had this with Neymar right from the moment that he arrived. He had a decent enough first season, but nothing quite spectacular, but since then he's been electric, he's been fantastic, he's adapted really well, he's a good member of the dressing room, he's been fantastic in the way that he's linked up with Messi and Suarez. They formed a formidable partnership with the front three. He's not a selfish player, he's got a lot of time for the rest of his players, and I think that's a good thing. I think Neymar, since he's come in, has only done us good. He's been fantastic in the way that he's gone about his business here. Of course, he was expensive to bring in, and we're trying to offer him a contract renewal right now, which will also be expensive. But there's no doubt that he is one of the best players in the world, and certainly in the form that he showed earlier on in the season, there's no doubt and no denying at all that he could reach the very, very top of the game. But the question is, how long is he willing to wait to become the main man? We know Lionel Messi's getting on now. He's not as young as he was, but he's still got a lot of years left in him, whether it's a striker, whether it's an attacking player, or whether he's going to drop into midfield. Luis Suarez as well is reaching a tender age, but again, you feel like he's still got a number of years in him. So whether Neymar is just a bit tired now of waiting, of course he got third in this year's Ballon d'Or, Messi and Ronaldo finishing ahead of him, so he's climbing up the pecking order in terms of the Ballon d'Or and the world's best player, but there's every chance at the end of this season that he possibly won't be included in the top three due to Luis Suarez's terrific season. But Neymar has ambition, I don't doubt that at all, and I don't blame him for that. It's good to see that he's got the ambition to become the best player in the world, but for me there's absolutely no reason why he can't go on and do that at Barcelona. He's developing his game year on year, he's been very, very good. Despite a dip at the end of this season, it was still a very, very successful season for him, both individually and collectively with the team. We did very, very well with him, he did very, very well on his own. He's going to represent Brazil at the Olympics this summer, very, very interesting to see how he's going to do there, whether he can again bring home another title. But like I say, I think this all depends on what he's got to do with his father, whether his father would influence the transfer as much to agree a deal with PSG for this sort of money. I think if he's in terms of ambition, I wouldn't personally go to PSG. I don't think that's really the right place to go, but I think we wouldn't really mind selling him to PSG if it really came down to it. But of course, if the release clause is met, there's nothing that we could do about it anyway. I think we'd want to try and avoid, in all circumstances, selling him to Real Madrid. We've seen that happen before, and it certainly does not go down well for the player. I don't think Neymar would do that. Like I say, there was an opportunity to join Real Madrid before he came to Barcelona, and he didn't go through with it despite his father's wishes. So I don't think he'll go there, and right now I'm still debating whether he would actually leave at all, because I still think the new contract is on the table for Neymar, which will keep him here for a number more seasons. It'll increase his wage, and it'll also increase his release clause, which will make it very, very difficult for any potential suitors to come in and make a very, very high bid. It would be a world record fee no matter what, it would be a lot of money no matter what, but I just think that new contract is on the table. I think Neymar is agreed, I think the deals are agreed. We're still waiting to officially announce it. I'm not really sure what we're waiting for, but it hasn't been done yet, it hasn't been sealed yet. So as that's still going on, these papers and these reports are still being allowed to print this rumours and the speculation, but I think as soon as that deal is signed, as soon as that goes through, and as soon as that's final, we can safely assume that Neymar is going to be staying at Barcelona. But right now, until that contract is signed, until that contract is done and officially announced by the club, you're still going to have to listen to these rumours about Neymar going to the Premier League, about Neymar going to Real Madrid, or even this morning, as I say, possibly Neymar going to PSG. But right now, Neymar is very much a Barcelona player. Any club that wants to take him would have to pay an astronomical fee. fee as well as astronomical wages, and we are still negotiating with him for that new contract, which I still believe will be signed. So leave your thoughts down below, guys, on whether you think Neymar will be staying, whether he'll be leaving. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Very, very interested to hear that, because there's a number of mixed opinions. Some people are willing for him to go now because, of course, it's dipped towards the end of the season, but then there are people who are remembering his fantastic run of form throughout the start of the season and, of course, the season before that as well. So let me know down below, guys, what you guys think. Interested to hear those thoughts. I will see you very, very soon. But until then, as always, Vesca El Barca.